Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're going to be making something from this nice piece of cherry wood which I cut down in my garden back in 2016. So as far as I'm aware, cherry takes around 1 year per inch dry time, so I'm hoping it's going to be pretty dry to start working with. So I'm using this beech bowl blank, which is approximately 12 inches in diameter, just to get an idea of what size I can get from the cherry wood. As you can see, I'm just dyeing it up, getting it in position. As it happens, it's worked out to fall pretty much the same size. Just marking around the outside now, just to mark on the cherry the size of the bowl, and then I can cut the corners off just to make it a little bit easier once I get it mounted on the lathe. So I've already got the faceplate fixed on. I used the 3-inch faceplate which has the dovetail already set into it, so I can mount it straight up onto the chuck. I'm just bringing up the tailstock now for extra support because it's quite a substantial piece of wood. Unfortunately, it was a bit too big to get in my bandsaw to cut the corners off, so I thought I'd try doing it by hand. The little space in my workshop made it quite difficult, so I ended up taking it off the lathe again, taking it outside and trimming the corners off out there and then remounting it again. So with the corners off now, it's back on the lathe. I'm just having a quick measure up now. As you can see, it's about 6 inches deep and it's 12 inches in diameter. So I'm ready to start turning now. Because of how big and unstable this piece is at the moment, I've changed the belt settings on the lathe. This particular lathe, the lowest speed it can go is 250 RPM, and I've moved the control box over to my side, so if anything happens I can switch it off quickly. I'm using my Robert Sorby 3/8 bowl gouge to start with, just taking nice gentle cuts. We're making a little bit of progress now, still taking nice gentle cuts, still turning at the same speed, adjusting the tool rest as we go, making sure the tool rest is as close as possible at all times, and popping back to the bench grinder every so often just to touch up the edge on the tool. So we've moved on a little bit now. I'm just having a look, assessing what we've got and where we've got to so far. As you might be able to see if I stop spinning it, that there's some quite big cracks started to appear. Not too worried about them at the moment, not at this stage. We can deal with those a little bit later on. I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing there. I think there's something stuck on the tool rest, maybe. As you can probably hear, I'm just using a diamond file to touch up the edge of the tool, put the burr back on. Saves going back to the grinder and wasting more steel. Probably be ideal if I'd done it on camera so you could see what I was doing, so I apologise for that. So just going to carry on working away to get the basic shape of the bowl now. So you can see nice shavings coming off. I'm just going to carry on working my way around the bottom now. I've turned the lathe speed up as well. I think it's turning around 300, 350 mark. I'm just working on the bottom now, just tidying up, making some finishing cuts there. I'm using a square edge carbide cutter to start creating the foot. I'm just using the calipers to mark out the mortise. Some more finishing cuts. I'm not sure why I put the pencil mark on there. It must have been just to make the mark from the calipers a little bit clearer. So as you can see, the top of the bowl is still quite out of balance. I'm just using the parting tool now just to mark out where I want the top of the bowl to be. And you can see it's just got a little bit of a chamfer on there, just a sort of decorative detail really. I'm just using the round carbide cutter and the bowl gouge just to refine that chamfer, get it to a point that I'm happy with. So you can see one of the big cracks that have appeared. I think at this point in the turning I've not actually decided what to do with those, but anyway, I'm just moving on now. I'm going to start making the mortise in the bottom ready for when we reverse mount it into the chuck. I'm using a parting tool now just to make the mark where the mortise is going to be, and detail gouge just to start removing some of the excess wood. Brave taking away the tailstock for the moment just so I can remove this nub. A lot of face in one face plate was still quite a heavy piece of wood. I'm just using the Robert Sorby bowl gouge now just to carry on cleaning up the mortise and create a dovetail in the bottom there to fit in the chuck jaws. I'm just using the detailed carbide tool to make some decorative marks in the bottom. and just using a little skewer as well, just to tidy up, make some finishing cuts there, and a little sand up now, just to finish the bottom off before I turn it around in the chuck. So I've got the bowl turned round in the chuck now, and getting ready to start taking the middle out. And it's been a couple of days since I've worked on this piece for various reasons, so it's gone out of true a little bit. I think there was a little bit more moisture in the wood than I first thought. So I'm just gently nibbling away. I've turned the lathe speed up again now. I've actually moved it back onto the next belt setting. So I think I'm turning around sort of 500 RPM, 520 maybe. So as you can see, I've just been working on the sort of first inch or so of the rim of the bowl. I figure as it's a bit wetter than I thought it was going to be, that I'm going to have to sort of leave the walls quite thick and take the centre out and leave it to dry out for a little bit. You'll notice why I'm removing the centre, that I switch between tools quite a lot, which is really just me trying to find the best tool that works for removing as much wood as quickly as possible. I use the Robert Sorby bowl gouge, an unbranded 12mm round carbide cutter, and Simon Hope 8mm hollowing tool, which I'm using now. I've moved on a little bit now. I'm just using a forcener bit to remove some of the wood there in the centre, and then we can get a final depth just to make it a bit easier for hollowing the rest of the bowl out and get rid of this slow moving wood. So we've got the depth set now and the centre removed, so that should make it a lot easier to carry on with the hollowing. I used 3 different size forcener bits to get to this point. So I'm just working my way down now, and again using a mixture of different tools, trying to find the one that works best for me. As I'm cutting now, I'm noticing that the moisture content in the wood is getting greater, and I end up leaving the piece to dry out again for a few days. So as you can see, we've jumped forwards in time again, and I've got about 1/8 of an inch left to hollow out now, using the round nose carbide cutter to carry on. So the main hollowing's finished now. I'm just using Simon Hope 23mm shear scraper just to clean up any lumps and bumps that are left behind. Unfortunately, I made a bit of a rookie error and forgot to press record on the camera. So I talk through what I've actually done, what you can see at the moment. So yeah, I used some 5-minute epoxy and mixed some crimson red pigment in with it, and I've used a lolly stick to put it into the cracks with. Just showing you what I've done. Is only a couple of cracks on the inside of the bowl, the worst of it was on the outside. So I decided to sand from here onwards. I've got quite a decent finish on the outside of the bowl. I didn't want to ruin it by using a tool to remove the excess resin and risk getting a catch or spoiling the bowl. So yeah, decided to sand from this point onwards, and started off with 100 grit to remove the worst of the resin, and work my way through up to 600. So as well as hand sanding, I use Simon Hope Pro Sander. I found this very effective, especially on the inside of the bowl. And in between each grit I used the air compressor to remove any particles of sandpaper left behind. So the sanding's complete now. Yeah, really happy with how it's come up. It's a lovely piece of wood and it's finished up nicely. So just using some isopropyl alcohol to remove any dust that remains in the grain of the wood, get rid of any particles of sandpaper and grit, which leaves a good surface then to apply the finish. So for the finish I'm using Hampshire Sheen's Food and Toy Safe High Gloss Wax. This is actually a commission and the customer would like to use it as a fruit bowl. So I'm just applying a nice thin layer of the wax, and I'll then leave it to dry for a minute or so and then buff it with a clean cloth. So that's the first coat applied and buffed in. As you can see, the shine on it is absolutely spectacular, and the grain in the wood really stands out. It looks really nice. I'll probably do another 1 or 2 more coats off camera, and then we'll take it off the lathe and have a look to see what we've done. So there we go, one finished cherry fruit bowl. I think it's come out really well, all considering. It's caused me a few little issues along the way, but the grain in this piece of wood really does make up for it. So the finished dimensions are around 11 inches in diameter at the widest point, and it's about 4.5 inches tall. Anyway, thank you very much for watching today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please hit the subscribe button, like and share the video. It really does help me out, and we'll see you again soon for the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.